walk in and going to have a candid conversation with Chris today. As many of you may know or may not know, today is the 15th of January 2025. 1 year ago, on this same day, 1 year ago, January 15th, 2024, Chris had a serious accident at his former high school. And today, I'm taking the time out with him to discuss 1 year later. 1 year later, we're looking at a walking miracle boy, a walking miracle young man. That's what it is, young man, not boy, eh? God is being good. And so on this date, I recall pulling up to his high school, Temple Christian, his former high school. I remember getting there shortly after 11 because I know that he had a race, a 1,500-meter race. And I pull up to the back gate and I saw so many people on the field. And I was like, boy, I hope I didn't miss the race. And then his sister came running to the back gate and her face was full of red. And I said to myself, girl, you look like you're already taking this inter-school sports day very seriously. And her eyes were full of water. And then the principal came and said that Kristofer had an accident. And I was like, what type of accident? And he said, Kristofer was hit to the head with a discus. And at that point in time, I almost tripped out. And I said to his sister, tell your mother, tell Ethanette, whatever she doing, when the ambulance reach, bring him straight to Doctor's Hospital. So basically, I went to Doctor's Hospital. And let me tell you, I got there and I'm waiting. I see 30 minutes, no ambulance. 40 minutes, no ambulance. I'm calling Doctor's Hospital and in the back asking them if anyone heard if there's a patient named Kristofer Wong on the way. They tell me no. I call Princess Margaret Hospital. They say no. I'm calling Temple Christian High School. No one answering. Calling his mother's cell phone. She's not answering. So I decided now to hop in my car. And lo and behold, as I was getting ready to leave, I saw the ambulance coming down Shirley Street and pull into the ambulance area. And I saw my son on a stretcher getting ready to get wheeled into the ER room. And I always remember the first responder, the EMS driver said, Wong, man, I know this was your son. You know? And so I said, yeah, man, this is my son. You know, and I'm emotionally right now, and I'm just trying to keep it together. So, Chris, you were getting ready to run a race at your school, and then it said that you were hit to the head. What was going through your mind once you realized that you were admitted into Doctor's Hospital on January 15th?
By the time I was admitted, it hit me when the time I realized that I was admitted, it hit me probably around somewhere 9 o'clock that night that I was going to be admitted because one of the doctors came in and said, I going into ICU. And so I heard that and I responded and I said that means I can be here for a while. And Once I heard that, I was like, so this ain't just a normal hit. This worse. It's worse than just a hit because to get put on the third floor of Doctor's Hospital. Anybody who's been on the third floor of Doctor's Hospital means you ain't coming right in and out. Intensive care unit. And so, first thought was, what if I was to fall asleep and go into a coma, and I just there in a coma and then wouldn't wake up. So I didn't want it to go sleep that first night. Um, Eventually, around the middle of the night, I did go to sleep, and obviously I did wake up.
Why were you afraid to go sleep?
It's because of it's the history with people being hit in the head and going into comas.
So you
'Cause,
were so you were afraid that if you fell asleep, that you'd have went into a coma.
yes,
Wow. Well, look at you now. God has been faithful. He's being kind to you to allow you to still be here with us today, 1 year later. And you are correct. Many individuals, it's proven history, who have been hit to the head with a shot put or a throwing hammer or whatever, has died. And so God has spared your life for you to be here. So you were in hospital for a few long days, almost a week, and then you were released and you came home for a couple days. How did you feel once you were released from Doctor's Hospital? You came home, and if you could recall, what happened when you came home, and where did you end up?
when I came home, the experience coming home was better. I think it was more better than I would say. Of course, stuck in the hospital. Nobody wants to be in the hospital long, so coming home was the best thing. And everybody that came to the house to see me, I like to thank them. I like to thank Mr. Fisher for coming to the house to record me, interview me there. So thank you very much, Mr. Fisher. My church family that came to the house, I'd like to thank you all as well for coming and stopping by and taking time out of your day and night to come and see me. And my family who came, my neighbors who came to the house to see me once I was released from Doctor's Hospital.
When you heard that you were headed to the States to go to Cleveland Clinic, did you have any hopes? Did you have any anticipation?
When I went to the States and Cleveland, my hopes was that um, I would get there and that it wouldn't, that maybe in probably 3 weeks, that I'd be walking again, and then, you know, maybe in, by the end of the month, I'd be all clear and ready to go. But that wasn't the case because, the first month I was still in the wheelchair. If I do remember right, the first month I was coming out of a wheelchair and moving on to a walker. So that helped because now I was able to kind of move my feet around, with assistance from the walker that the clinic had given me in Cleveland. So, I was happy to have that and eventually move on to a cane. But progress. I wouldn't say the progress was slow, but the progress was good and the support system was there.
Awesome. You talk about being in a wheelchair. You how did you feel as a young man, knowing that your mom and your dad had to give you a bath and to get you dressed and everything else, and to wake up with you in the middle of the night if you had to use the men's room and so forth. How did you feel about that process as well?
You know, that process, I can't say that it felt, I can't say I felt bad about that process. Like, I couldn't walk, and, and at least we close together, so it didn't feel uncomfortable.
Awesome. You were in the care of Cleveland Medical. You had some of the best doctors, some of the best um, physiotherapists that anyone could have gotten. And we as a family are grateful for those individuals. Is there anyone there or the team that you would like to remember and thank for their time? You being there and perhaps, want to give them a shout out.
Thank you, Miss Shari, for taking care of me and being loving, and thank you, Miss Mel, for being there with me too and supporting me as I go through it. Paul, Brandon, Kat, I thank the all of you as well for being there with me. Catherine, my um, pause,
Speech therapist.
speech therapist.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for being there with me and helping me to get my memory back and get it back to the point where at least I could, start to remember things and develop on it more.
Awesome. Awesome. It's been a year, Chris. It's been one full year. And I said to us during the Christmas holiday that if none of us got a gift in the house, you are our gift because God has been good to us just by allowing you to be alive and to be here. And I know we got a little emotional on that day just to know that you're here, and we trust in God for your life, and we are thankful that you are here today. Um, overall, overall, as we wrap up this small interview, overall, all the people that were supportive to you online and people that you ran into when we were homeless. I know you said we were homeless, right? Until we finally got a place that we could have called home for the remainder of it. But moving from hotel to hotel to hotel, I know it was a trying time. We can laugh about it now, but it was.
Man, I mean, it wasn't when we first moved in hotel to hotel. I mean, it wasn't me that was doing any of the packing. I mean, for mommy, it was a lot. Thank you, mommy.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Ethanet. Yeah, it was a lot for her. Yes. Yeah.
that was
And
a lot.
yeah, we must give her a lot of thanks because she took on a lot of the burden with you while me and Sanaya was back home and being back and
Yeah,
forth.
packing.
Yeah, so she was the strong warrior until we were able to start switching out on weekends. But we must give Ethanet, Mama Bear, a lot of credit. That's what you call a strong woman. Who stood strong in the midst of everything. And today we spoke to her about Chris' life, and she became emotional. She said, I need counseling. I need counseling, and I do agree, you know. But Chris, the Lord is kind.
Oh, it's kind.
Who says that a lot?
Pastor Gino.
Who's Pastor Gino?
Pastor BP.
The Lord is kind. Yes,
Senior pastor now.
you're senior pastor. That's right. The Lord is kind, and God has been good to our pastor as well. So we thank God for him as well. So Chris, today is 1 year anniversary. Look at you, man. You know,
It's long.
still strong. You're here with us. And I love you, son. Your mommy love you, your sister love you, and your family does love you. And everyone who's watching this, I know that they love you. And so today is 1 year, folks, a 1 year anniversary for a strong, handsome young man. God is not finished with him yet.
Someone that tell me I was scared when it happened, and they told me it was about midnight that night, the first night in the hospital, and they told me, they said, Chris, just breathe, and today they said you survived and you made it.
Amen. I'm a survivor.